Hello and welcome once again to Crush Your Mountain. And I want to tell you, I am so happy to have you here with this particular episode because we have our first return guest, okay? Let me just let you know about her. You may have seen her before when I was having some technical difficulties. And quite frankly, that was a little frustrating because I hate technical difficulties, especially on live TV or live Facebook. But in this case, her information was so important and powerful. And we talked for quite some time. And I wanted to not just introduce her to you, but show the results of what she's done. And we have a special announcement at the end of this information that I think is going to help a lot of people. And also that I'm thrilled to be involved in. So let me do this. Let me introduce to you once again this Leslie Grady. She is a certified Optavia health coach. We're going to ask her to unmute herself and we're going to talk a little bit about, well, the biggest problem that's happening right now, and that is obesity and the problems that is happening in this country, around the world, why it affects you and what you can do about it, even if you tried to do something about it before. So as we always say, we want to welcome our guest, Leslie Grady. Welcome to Crush Your Mountain Health.
It's a pleasure, Henry. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy to be back with you. And you're such a very heartwarming person, and that's very kind. It's nice to have you with us. But obesity is running rampant in this country and throughout the world. There are millions of people who die from complications with obesity. They don't even realize that that is the problem. So, the question I would say is, what are the ways that people have tried to combat that on their own all this time?
Well, the problem is enormous, and 70% of Americans are overweight or obese, and 40% are obese. And I don't know, the ways, there's many different ways to lose weight. Do you want to talk about why we got into this mess, or do you want to talk about the way?
Well, that's true. It's out there already. You see what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is that back in the 60s and 70s, there was a push to make sugar the focus. They said that fat was the enemy. And if you remember, they had all these non-fat foods, these fat-free things. Remember Snackwells and all that good stuff. But what was happening was, all the time, the sugar industry, they paid a couple of doctors to say this, and then they made it a concerted effort to market sugar and up the amount of sugar in all these fat-free foods. That's one thing. Another thing too, the food pyramid. Do you remember a little bit about the food pyramid? Because I remember we had that in school. You had the grains, and that was supposed to be the main thing to eat, grains, right? Strangely enough, I don't remember a lot of celiac disease back in the 70s. Yeah. I don't remember a lot of diabetes back in the 70s. I don't remember a lot. It was there. But did you see a lot of overweight people back then?
Not so much. There's other factors too. Like when we were back then, we had a small plate. The portions were smaller, 9-inch plate. The plates are now like this. The portions are supersized. And so that has happened. And then, like you said, the way the food industry kind of deliberately and systematically got us addicted to sugar with the high fructose corn syrup that they put in most everything, even bread and cereal and just anything that was a little bit sweet or wanted it to taste good, and we got addicted to it. So it's really not people's fault. Dr. Anderson, our founder of our program, calls it an obesogenic culture that we're in. It just leads us into that. And then he also likes to talk about our ancestors who had to hunt and gather for their food and work hard to fish and get all their food. And they also had periods of time where they didn't have enough food. So they have a hunt, food was plentiful, but they evolved a fat storage system in our bodies for the times when we didn't have enough food. So that kept them alive and allowed them to survive. But here we are with the same fat storage system today, and food is just easy to get and it's too much. And so we're storing fat, and we can't, most people don't drop their calories below the energy that they're producing. So they never burn that fat. They never get to that fat. So that's why we're in a pickle. Plus the activity level has really decreased, right?
Yeah, you know something?
We don't have to go hunt for our food. We can go through the drive-through. We don't even have to move at all, Henry. What were you going to say?
No, that's what the thing about it is so interesting, because here we live in a culture. Now, both of us are students and teachers of the Bible, and you know the Apostle Paul told Timothy, you know, that bodily training is beneficial for a little, but godly devotion is beneficial for all things. Now, here's the thing about it. How did Paul get to where he was going? He did not call Uber, right? when he wanted to make when he wanted to take a hot bath, he had to build a fire. Even if he wanted to cook, he had to build a fire. You see, you know, he couldn't reach out and touch someone. I mean, I don't have a problem with modern conveniences, but the problem is we have become convenienced to our health detriment, and that's where the challenge comes in. You know, we think about we talked about the food industry, then there's the agricultural industry that they have, and I was just listening to a program today, how they have actually basically taken nutrition even out of the fresh food because the soil is so depleted.
Yeah.
You see, and that too has caused mankind to become obesogenic. And then we think about, if after that happens, well, you're getting sick now, you're ailing now. So who steps in? Are the pharmaceutical companies. They step in, and next thing that happens is they wind up causing all sorts of challenges with the medications. So they give you a medication to combat one thing, which causes what they call side effects. You see, so that too is a challenge. We talked the last time you and I talked about Ozempic and the fallacy of that and what that does to individuals. And the person I was talking to today was thinking of going on that. And I kind of explained to him, if you want to really mess up your body with the side effects as well as the Ozempic face, then you know, go right ahead. But that's not necessary, you know. So many people have had these challenges, and we talked a little bit about the different types of ways to lose weight, the different diets. There's paleo, keto, and my personal favorite, intermittent fasting, or combinations of those. All of them work, but ultimately all of them fail. Why is that?
Well, just going through checking some of the boxes of things that do have good evidence for them, they just have drawbacks, and most of them, not all, but most of them are not good for long-term wellness and health. But you know, I'm about what really works and what's healthy. You know, for me as a health professional, it's important for it to be safe, medically safe, for it to be sustainable for long-term health. So, you know, if you look at the Mediterranean diet, wonderful way to eat. It's probably the best way you can eat for maintenance, to keep your weight off and to have lifelong health. But it's hard for people to switch over from a standard American diet right to a Mediterranean diet, and it takes some training and commitment and preparation and all of that. So, you know, I did find that people that were in an organized, structured program, this is over my career as a physician assistant, they were in this structured plan, they often did better having some structure. So then there's Weight Watchers, and Weight Watchers is great, but some people don't want to count the points. Or what happens to a lot of people I know, they use their points on unhealthy food, and then they run out of points, and then they don't then they go, oh well, whatever, this week. So that has some issues. And then there's intermittent fasting, and it has good science behind it. But, you know, if you're like me, you're not like me, but I would rather eat through the day than fast through the day. I couldn't handle the way my blood sugar would be. I tend to have low blood sugar, so I really need to eat throughout the day. So that's not for everyone. And then keto, yeah, keto is popular, and keto, you know, gets some good success, but they just had new studies coming out this last month about how detrimental it is to cardiovascular health over the long term. So it might come back to bite you. So yeah, whenever I can share what we're doing differently, but it is different for every person. Our program isn't right for every person. Mm-hmm. You have to find the right fit. You know, we're here for the people that want to be helped. And, you know, if you want someone to do it for you, we're not for you. But if you want to do the work of change, we simplify it. So we kind of start where diets leave off. And we call our motto lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. It's not about a diet, it's about lifestyle habits and changing those. So
I think that's why I was so drawn to you and wanted to do this program, do this show, because hey, we are Chrysalis transformational coaching, so it's perfect. But just so that individuals understand and know that this is not just a health issue. When a person fails at their diet, what does that do to them emotionally? What does that do to their mind?
Yeah, I don't like to use the term failure, because we all fall short all the time. So, but that yo-yo dieting is where you lose it and you're pumped up about that, and then you gain it back. It's very depressing, and it's not good for your metabolism either. Right. It's really, we want to get off that yo-yo thing and do something we can do long term and keep it going for life, really maintain it.
That's so true.
Do our program?
That's true. So, you know, that's what I'm going to tell you, because I myself, so I said I'm a fan of intermittent fasting. When they diagnosed me as type 2, and they wanted to put me on insulin, and in fact, they wanted to give me a combination insulin pill, which was like $500 per pill. And they wanted to take $30 pills. So, you know, I wasn't going to pay that. But I also refused to take insulin because I also knew that insulin is a growth hormone as well. So the fact of the matter is, I remember my father and what he went through, and he was never able to get off the weight. And so I said to myself, there's got to be a different way. So for me, I was able to, through intermittent fasting, changing my eating lifestyle, not just diet, but an eating lifestyle, making healthier choices, and then incorporating a consistent workout or exercise movement each day. The weight came off, and my doctor was shocked, and he's still shocked, and you know, because I've managed to keep it off. But I also want to go a step further. But I decided that so many people, I was looking around, so many people are dealing with type 2 diabetes. So many people are dealing with obesity. And it really crushes me to see young men my age, because in spite of what my grandchildren say, I am not an old guy. you know, okay, but young men my age, just to see them aging too fast. Because some of them can barely crouch down, you know, some of them can barely stand. They have to walk backwards going down the stairs because of the pains in their knees. And they don't realize it's the obesity and the extra pressure that's causing it, you know. And so I said I was going to move into the space of being a certified health and life coach, and that's what I did. But I found that for me, my methods didn't work for everybody because some people just need to eat. And so when you began to tell me about Optavia, and I saw the results and heard about the program, I got excited. I said, she's got to come on and she's got to share that with us. So would you mind telling us a little bit about Optavia?
Yes, it's, and just from a health, I was a PA for my whole career, and I was guilty as charged with what you said. Is we were trained to not to create health, but to treat disease, sick care instead of health care. So we were trained to find a diagnosis and treat it with a pill or a surgery. But guess
Name
what?
it, tame it, name it, blame it, and tame it, right?
Yeah, that's good. But guess what? People don't want pills and surgery. They want health. Okay. So uh, this is a program that's comprehensive, and I do have a guest to bring one of my clients to bring on. Do you want me to tell you about how the program actually works
Well,
after Jenny comes on, or just a general idea?
well,
We,
you can actually let's talk a little bit about the program. Don't go into detail. Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
are going to do in detail. Just tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll bring Jenny in.
The basics of the program is that we want to change habits, and we all have bad habits. We want to rewire the brain so that we create new habits, and those pathways in the brain, actually, the more you practice healthy habits, you can get a new habit put into your brain system that's just as strong as the old one. But it does take practice. So here's the thing: while people are working on the habit transformation, they get a simple nutrition plan that works. So the weight just comes off kind of automatically, easily, while they're doing the mindset work of creating change in their life. So that's why I love it. It's simple, it's medically safe, and it's sustainable for long-term health.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it was developed by a doctor.
Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson was one of the first 10 critical care physicians in the whole country. And he had a very successful practice, but he just said, hey, I'm not really getting anyone healthy. I am taking care of people after they've already had their heart attack, their stroke, their amputation from diabetes. I want to go to the other side of the healthcare continuum and prevent disease, create health. So he left his busy practice, very successful in Ohio, went out to Portland, Oregon, wrote these books about habit change. It's called Habits of Health. And he teamed up with a company to make the fuelings that we use in our program. And he put in the coaches, because the coaching support is one of our biggest factors in our program. So yeah, and he's really helped, 1 million people so far with this program. And it's just what we need in this world as an option among others. I think just everyone should know about it. That's what I think.
I am inclined to agree with you. Okay.
Yeah.
And
then make your own decision. Yeah.
The more the more arrows you have in your quiver, so to speak, the more action you can take, and you have greater options. So this is an option that's being held out to anyone who wants to lose weight and keep it off. And actually not just lose weight. I've said this on the channel before, and I will say it forever as long as I live in this system. And that is type 2 diabetes, obesity are not just health issues. They are lifestyle issues. So this is a means of transforming your life so that your health becomes one of longevity. And that's what we want. You see, there are very few people that have decided to die. Even King Solomon said that God has put the eternity into the hearts of man. So the understanding, I'm not getting preachy, but the understanding is this: we are designed to think in terms of living forever. Isn't it a cruel joke? Wouldn't it be a cruel joke to be given this insight, this foresight, this desire, and yet not take the actions to get as far as we can with it? You see?
Yes.
So,
And just we're also designed for relationships and family, and we, so many people, their reason for getting healthy is so they can play on the floor with their grandkids, so they can keep up with their own kids, so they're not disabled from all these complications. So yes, that's important.
So, we wanted to, you brought along a friend and who's part of the program, and we would like to just sort of pick her brains and find out a little bit about what she's experienced. Let's bring in Jennifer. This is Jennifer Banker. She's coming in shortly. And
Do you have her picture?
As you see her, she is there in all of her divine glory and beauty. She's such a wonderful smile. So Jennifer, welcome to Crush Your Mountain Health. And I was so impressed with what Leslie was telling me. I wanted to have you on so you can share your story as far as Optavia, and tell us about it. Yeah, tell us about you.
First, I just want to say that I've been working with Jenny for 14 months, and she has embraced this in her life, the whole thing. And she's done such a great job. And so I'll let her share, but do you have her before and after picture? Show it after. Well, or I can find it probably somewhere, but anyway, I'll let Jenny tell her.
So we're gonna have to say, here's Jenny, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Late 2021, and it's early 2023 now, I felt like I needed to get healthier. I started walking, but I knew that wasn't going to be the only change I was going to need to make. But I really thought about what options are out there and what would work for me. And about middle of January, I signed up for the program called Optavia, which has a lot of different new ways of thinking to allow you to think about all the parts of your life. And it's a life journey instead of it being like on a diet. I'm not on a diet. I chose to challenge myself in certain ways right away. So about a little more than a year ago, and last year I lost about 40 pounds, probably over a course of 6-7 months. And then I kept doing the program, but I said, I'm going to keep my weight about the same and just stabilize for a period of time, make sure I can hold it here. And I worked on some other things. I increased my activity. I worked on some of more my internal work that we each need to concentrate on from time to time. And then I came into the 2023 year, and Leslie's been on this whole journey with me. And it's progress over perfection at all times, right? No one person does any kind of change in their life perfectly. Is I decided that one of the ways for me to get to my next weight goal, I'm going to give up alcohol because it was getting in my way of extra calories, my sleep, different things. But so early February, I also decided that habit needed to change, not because it was necessarily all consuming, but it definitely, I think sometimes when you make a change, a positive change in one area of your life and you concentrate it on, other areas come with it and they change along that way. And that's why I feel like last year when I went out in Optavia for my overall weight management, and that part of my life, it opened up other doors where I was able to say my confidence is bigger, greater, and all those things that I said, I don't need alcohol. Let's set that aside now. And those kind of things have been part of that journey. And the coach that the lovely Leslie is for me, she's helped me be able to be on that journey on my own with her support along that way.
You know, that's pretty amazing, and that you decided to give up alcohol. And it's not that you had some sort of addiction, but it was a decision to make a further improvement, you see. And I'll tell you why that's so interesting now, because people are now realizing that alcohol is a neurotoxin. So yes, everyone's the word has been the resveratrol, or I think it's resveratrol in the red wine is good for longevity, it's good for your health. But if we can remove that from the alcohol, it's perfect. So the idea of having that in your system, of taking that out of your practice, but adding healthier stuff is amazing to me just by itself.
Yes, I feel with that and all the other changes, I wear Fitbit, so, and I wear it to sleep. So I know my sleep was getting better with the weight loss. It's even better without having alcohol on the nights I would have originally had it. I'm sleeping much more soundly. I have a lot more energy just from all of these changes in my life. And I really think that lots of people, even those who may be closer to, I'll call it the perfect weight for their height, there's still a lot of different habits that as you adjust to eat healthier, right? So some people could be very thin, but don't eat healthy. They're just naturally thin people. Taking on these different habits helps you feel overall just much better about yourself because your system overall works so much better. I can tell that if I did choose to go off of the choices that I usually make for a few days, I don't feel like the same person. I don't feel as healthy. And I think you have to make those choices from time to time so that you do recognize how great you are feeling when you're making the really good choices too.
How great you are feeling, and indeed how great you are, because your body now is in its optimal state. And that's the most important thing. You know, it's interesting how individuals, when they wind up moving in a space, they look at their body in certain shapes. So when it comes to exercise and muscle building, we talk about someone being ectomorphic, mesomorphic, or endomorphic. And so me, I would be in the mesomorphic state, where I can either lose weight or gain weight fairly quickly. And there are those that they can eat 16 pizzas, 14 cakes, and not gain a pound. But you know, they're finding that there's something now called skinny fat. So they may not have it may not show up visibly, but it's there. You see, so taking a program that helps them to improve their lifestyle on the overall. See, that is the key, and that's what we admire about you, Jenny. Do we have that before and after?
It's I'm just trying to get it on here, but if we don't, we'll put it up on the, where you post it.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely have the before and after picture underneath, but I want to say this, Jenny, I say this as in the words of Robin Sharma, with all love and respect, you have an amazing smile, an amazing bright smile, and it's clear just from the glow that you have that Optavia has done a lot for you, and I find that exciting. I find that really nice to see. So I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Well, thank you for asking me. I'm glad to share it. I hope everybody comes along a good health journey. I think it's really, really beneficial for all around you too, if you get healthier yourself.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to say goodbye for now, but I want to talk with my people a little bit longer, but we'll see you soon, and hopefully we'll even get a chance to all meet up and have healthy food together one day.
Yes, that would be wonderful, Henry. Thank you for having me.
Ciao for now. Now listen, that's amazing by itself, and the thing is that with Optavia, you have different programs for different needs and circumstances. Am I right?
Yes, and I would like to just share the main one.
Yes, give us an idea of how things work.
Yeah.
The bones and bones and the bare bones, or the bones and knuckles, or the knuckles and skins, or whatever you got.
Yeah, so when I was looking for my for her picture, I got off the place where I can screen share. So unless I can figure that out, I will just not share my screen. But I will just tell you that I'm in some other view of it. So I would like to just say that, again, this is a comprehensive program with 4 components. And the 4 components are like 4 tires on a car. So you're gonna go run better with 4 tires, right? So the people that do this as a diet only do not have the success that the people that do all 4 components have. So the first component is the free health coach. And that is so important because a lot of people who fail on their weight loss journey are trying to do it by themselves. And they've done studies that if you regularly check in with a coach for accountability, you lose twice as much weight. Remember, we were talking to that young woman yesterday, and she said, boy, if I am accountable to someone and we're having check-ins, I'm going to do it because someone cares about it. It's not so easy to just give up. So, no one's perfect, and we're not about perfection. We're just about hanging in there and keeping going and not giving up on ourselves. So we check in with phone, text, email, Facebook message, just any way. And it's not obtrusive in anyone's life. It's just giving them the support that they need and encouragement. It's all positive. It's not like get in the gym and do 50 push-ups. It's really just encouraging people along, and they're in the driver's seat. We're in the passenger seat. We're helping them steer around some of the potholes because we've experienced the program, in my case, for 11 years. So that's the health coach. The second part is Dr. Anderson's books, which guide us in the learning part and the mindset work. People are willing to go to the gym, but we want them to go into the mental gym and work on their mindset and the habits by learning new habits. And so we have them going through a life book where they're doing some education and journaling, only like 5 minutes a day. It's no big deal. You're just doing a little work on your mind and what you're learning. The third part is our community. The community is big and awesome, and you don't feel like you're doing it alone. So you feel like, oh, I'm hanging out with like-minded people, and you're going to do better if you're in that environment more. So we have a private secret Facebook group. We have webinars that you can attend live or recorded. We have a nutrition support team. We have a behavioral support team. We just like to surround you with like a bubble of support. So you have all the tools that you need. So that is the community. And then the fourth thing, which people are really interested in, is how do we lose weight so quickly and easily? And so we have some different plans, but on all of them, we eat 6 times a day, every 2 or 3 hours, but we make that really simple. It's called the 5-in-1 plan, is what most people do. 1 meal a day is your regular food that you cook at home, or you can eat out or whatever, but it's protein. It's pretty high protein, a lot of protein, and vegetables, 3 servings of vegetables. And then for the other 5 meals, or they're not really meals, we call them fuelings because they fuel your body through the day. We have these portion controlled, low glycemic things to eat. You could call them meal replacements, but we call them fuelings because we think that is better what they do. But you have about 50 things on the menu, and you pick one for each time every 2 to 3 hours, and you eat your lean and green meal. So it doesn't matter what you choose. You could choose something that's breakfasty, or you could choose something sweet or savory, or you could choose like bars or shakes. But the cool thing about it is this was designed by medical scientists, physician sponsored, and every fueling has the same exact nutrition. All the macros are in there. So whether you chose a bar or a shake or a mashed potatoes or a mac and cheese or a brownie or a blueberry muffin, they all have the same amount of protein, carbs, fat, calories, and all the nutrition you need. Each fueling has 24 vitamins and minerals in each one. Each fueling has probiotics, and it has extra vitamin D. So we can say with assurance that if someone is doing the 5-in-1 plan with their lean and green meal and their 5 fuelings, they are getting 100% of the nutrition they need without even thinking about it. All they have to think about is drinking water and picking out their 5 fuelings, and then they only have to prepare, think about, shop for 1 meal a day. So it takes all that prep work out of a lot of plans, like people want to do Whole30, or they want to do something all, with just the precisely organic, healthy food. Our food is healthy too, nothing artificial in it. It's just food ingredients. It was developed at Johns Hopkins and places like that and physician sponsored. My personal health coach was my boss, who was she was a dietitian and then became a family practice doctor. So if she knows that this food is healthy, I believed her, and I checked it out, of course, and, did my own due diligence, but I believed that it was a really healthy way to go, and it still is for me. But you don't stay on this 5-in-1 plan. Once you get to your goal, you transition off of that and you start adding back the foods you haven't been eating, increasing your calories till you get to a level where you eat and burn the same amount of energy. So then you have a maintenance plan.
It kind of follows the same programs as the cleanse does. When I take my clients through a cleanse, where we eliminate quite a few of the foods, and we stick with something a little bit simple, but we add in slowly and gradually. That also gives them an understanding of what their body rebels against and what their body is blessed by. So, many times people may love foods. I think of that old commercial, I like hot dogs, but they don't like me, right? Well, many times the foods that we eat, we don't realize that they really don't like us. Right. They're not the best things for us. So with Optavia, this is an opportunity for you to actually know what it does in your system. I'm so thrilled about it. I said I had a special announcement. I want to make.
I found a slide I'd like to show first, because
she's got a slide, folks.
My screen share.
We're gonna slide on in there. Let's load it. Let's see what we got.
Okay, so let me do this. So here is the 4 components. The health coach, the habits of health learning system, the community, and the fuelings. Okay, and then this is what I love about this program and why I will always eat 5 or 6 times a day. This is the way if you do the standard thing with eating carbs and sugar, you are constantly spiking your blood sugar. That's the dotted line. And then the insulin level goes up, and then you crash down and you really are craving more carbs. So you eat more, or a cheeseburger or whatever, you go up. your insulin goes up, you crash down. My husband is a physician, and before Optavia, he would send his nurse to the candy machine every day at 4 p.m. because he was crashing and he needed sugar. And so that doesn't happen anymore. So this is the graph of where we get to with our fueling program and with our frequent low glycemic meals. You can see that we feel so much better keeping our blood sugar and insulin even. And insulin, overdoing it on the insulin can lead to prediabetes and diabetes. So you don't feel those cravings, you don't feel hungry, you have energy all through the day. And I just wanted to share that. I also want to see if this is Jenny's picture, see if this will come up. Let's see, maybe.
We can put that in the, on the.
Yeah, okay. All right, so now the big announcement, I can't wait.
Yeah. Because what I'll do also is I'll, when we go to our YouTube channel, it'll post up, it'll kind of fade in.
Oh, wait, here, is this it? There she is, yay!
Okay, we got the glucose. I see the graph.
Oh, okay.
But that was exciting.
Let me just try one more time here. Here. See this one. Can you see her?
Ah, yes. Let's see. Look.
Okay.
Is there a way can we blow that up? Let's see. We can blow that up a bit.
Yeah, I could do it, but I'm excited to hear what you wanted to share. So I just wanted to pop that up.
So we see how Jenny is. You see the remarkable change that she's made. It's just over the course of 14 months. And that's why I was so excited. And I'm excited now because I want everyone to understand what's happening. After having these discussions with Leslie and then seeing the tremendous change, Chrysalis Transformational Coaching has partnered with Optavia to work together in order to help individuals. So this is another arrow in my quiver, part of the tools that I use to help the individuals. So now, if you are able to avail yourself of Optavia, okay, following their path, the coaching is free for you. So I want to invite everyone to take advantage of this opportunity because look, right now, we're at a point where the world is facing tremendous change, but in particular, the world is facing a lot of negative change in their bodies, in their beings, and it's affecting their minds, it's affecting their hearts, it's affecting the way they interact. Just by changing the way you eat, just by changing the way you live, how you engage people, how you make your life better for yourself and for those you love can go a long way. So we want to invite you to optimize your vitality because that's the idea of Optavia. We want to invite you to transform yourself. So I have to ask this question in light of everything else because I am not going to end the show without asking this question to Miss dear Leslie Grady, because I look forward to working with her for a good long while. But Leslie Grady, as I always ask, what does it mean to you to crush your mountain?
Okay, well, I got to go back to, the faith as small as a mustard seed and that can move a mountain. And we're trying to crush the mountain. And so I would take that faith and I would channel it into power and go to where we're going to go. But I want to say that getting a team of people that are all caring for each other and helping each other is going to really help us crush our mountain. And we have a huge mountain in this world, unhealthy world. So I think the partnership and the teamwork and the support is going to be really important.
Absolutely. So that's the whole idea, friends. I am so thrilled that you were with us to share in this momentous occasion for Chrysalis Transformational Coaching and Optivia. And I just hope that even if you aren't with us, although we hope you do, even if you aren't with us, if you take those steps to take your health into your hands, make your doctor your partner, not your boss, and move away from the unhealthy lifestyle into healthy habits that will allow you to move forward in the long, long, long years of life. Until next time, please, thank you so much for watching. Don't just climb your mountain, crush through it. See you next time. Thanks again, Ms. Winston.
Thank you.